Welcome to A New View. We are going to be talking about a subject today that we were really talking about for weeks.
Yeah.
And really it is, what is glory? You know, we sing the song, Show Me Your Glory, but what is it? Well, we looked up in the definition of glory. It means to honor, beauty, taking pride or pleasure in someone or something. But what is God's glory and what does it mean to us?
Yeah, it's a good question. I like that
It
question.
is. It's a question. It's a question I hope inspires everybody to really think about what it means to them. It sounds like everybody on the planet is talking about it or thinking about it, whether you're conscious of it or not. Because I was thinking of it in terms of music, and I Googled it and found out there are over 3,200 songs that have a theme of glory.
Wow.
From like Jay-Z to Mercy Me, like everybody's talking a little
Everybody's
bit about
talking about glory.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody's trying to define it too. I think, like, I looked on a blog. I always end up going to desiringgod.org, and it's a blog by John Piper, and
Yes.
he was even saying that it's such a hard word to give a definition for, because it's vast, and because you're talking about God, what we're talking about with God's glory, that it's very hard to put in definition. But you're so right. When we were talking about the music and stuff, I think of the songs like that, always like Show Me Your Glory, or they're either titled that or they talk about, Lord, show me your glory.
Right.
And I think a lot of that too is because we want to see God. And we want to see his glory and his magnificence, and we want to experience it. So it is a true desire and something we're always wanting and talking about.
Right, because the verse in Isaiah 6:3 says, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. So when you hear it in that context, you think, okay, the Lord is the earth is full of the Lord's glory, meaning his beauty, his majesty, his honor, those types of things. But then when you hear, like, show me your glory, that's, showing his beauty, showing his things like that.
Yeah.
But something that really got me is that people talk a lot about Shekinah glory.
I've never heard that.
And I've heard that terminology, and I'm like, what is Shekinah glory? So I found some really cool things on Wikipedia, and it says Shekinah, also, known in the English transliteration of a Hebrew word meaning dwelling or settling, denotes the dwelling or settling of the divine presence of God. So then I thought, okay, so then when they're singing Show Me Your Glory, it's not just his beauty and his majesty, but it's kind of like, I'm thinking of the Shekinah glory. It's the dwelling, it's the presence of God so thick that you can kind of feel it in the atmosphere,
Yeah.
You say the glory of, or you hear people use the terminology, the glory of the Lord fell. So I don't know if it's just kind of like maybe that's it. But it says glory is one of the most common words in Scripture. In the Old Testament, the word is used to translate several Hebrew words, and then it gives them there per Wikipedia, but it says that it means weight or heaviness. But I guess then again, that would go back to glory, would be the presence of God, that show me your glory would be like, I guess, kind of like Jesus with skin on. We were kind of talking about that a while ago, But it was interesting because I did read the John Piper, Desiring God, kind of some things he put. But yeah, it's really a kind of a hard thing to define. I mean, I liked how he said, it's kind of like defining beauty. There's so many ways, and it's hard to put into words how we would define beauty.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas defining a basketball is, a little bit more tangible. Like we can kind of use words to describe a basketball, but beauty's a little harder. And I really think that's what glory is. It's kind of hard to define.
Yeah. I like when I think of the word glory, because I've been thinking about this word keeps popping up for me, and it reminds me of how I've asked God before, Lord, how do I glorify you? How do I bring you glory? Because the opposite of that, there's a word called vainglory, and the definition for that is talking about, let's see where I put it here. Excessive pride, especially in one's achievements, or excessive vanity. And it's very empty. To have vainglory is very empty, but to ask God, how can I glorify you, just by being here, Lord? Like, what does that look like? I've asked him that before, and I put that on my Instagram one time, and I remember picking a picture of a flamingo for it because you see a flamingo and you're like, man, the flamingo is so beautiful. You don't see them all the time. Like a true flamingo is beautiful. It's only in certain parts of the world. And I felt like God was like, you glorify me by being you because you were made in my image. I need you to be who I've created you to be. But we don't ever know what that looks like, or we don't know the trueness of who we are and what we look like unless we're asking him and letting him shape us and form us. And so I like to ask myself those kind of questions and be like, God, can you answer me, please?
And what I love is because the simplified definition was honor. So really, I think how we glorify God is really honoring him, honoring his word, honoring his presence, honoring, being obedient to him. I think those are things, and of course I love that. So I get the vainglory is maybe when we take too much pride or pleasure in the things of the flesh and not the things of the spirit.
Yeah, vainglory is glory without God.
It's glory in ourselves and just thinking, I've achieved all this, or I am all this because of me, when we have a creator, to overlook him completely in your existence and in your
would be in vain.
Anything would be, he created us in vain. And
It's interesting as we sit here and talk about it, I was getting like the light at the end of the tunnel. Glory is my light at the end of the tunnel. We're going through our trials, and some of them are like huge trenches that you about drown in. But you don't, because you see that light and it's coming. It's all over earth. What was it you just said? It's here on the earth. That glory is earth.
Yeah, there was also something that was, if you've ever gone to godanswers.com, I kind of love them. It's an app, and they answer questions. And so I wanted to say, what is the glory of God? And this is what godanswers.com said. And it says, the glory of God is the beauty of his spirit. It is not an aesthetic beauty or a material beauty, but it is the beauty that emanates from his character, from all that he is. In James 1:10, it calls on a rich man to glory in his humiliation, indicating a glory that does not mean riches or power or material beauty. This glory can crown man or fill the earth. It is seen within man and in the earth, but it is not of them. It is of God. The glory of man is the beauty of man's spirit, which is fallible and eventually passes away and is therefore humiliating, as that verse in James tells us. But the glory of God, which is manifested in all his attributes together, never passes away. So that's really what God's glory is. It's his beautiful character emanating through us.
So before the emotion popped into it, what I had thought the definition of glory was to glorify God is to follow the teachings of Jesus and to make great use of the gifts we have been given, which is be yourself.
Perfect, that's it. That was it. That was that nugget drop. Read that again one more time, Kim.
To glorify God is to follow the teachings of Jesus and to make great use of the gifts that we were given.
Awesome. Okay, so that we hope that is a simplified definition for what is God's glory, and we hope that God shows you his glory and that you're able to emanate his amazing character throughout the world and throughout to everyone you meet in your community and beyond. We hope that you have a great day, and we hope that you will be able to come and share your view with us and what you think what is glory.